Alright humans, like my other Pokemon BATAW matches, here is a menu where you can decide how you would like to watch this match. You have two options. You can watch the match at normal speed with my commentary, or you can watch the match sped up with music instead of my commentary. So maybe you like watching the match at normal speed and you want to watch a guy commentate over it, then you would click the top option. If you don't like my commentary or you just want to watch the match at a rapid pace, then you would click the bottom option. If you don't click anything within the next couple of seconds, then the match will just play at normal speed. Also, if you would like to request a match against me, then please refer to the link in the description. Otherwise, enjoy, humans! Hello humans, I'm Yoshiller and welcome back to some more Pokemon BATAW! I'm in a cave right now, and you know what I like to do when I'm in caves? Watch Pokemon battles, and thankfully I have plenty of Pokemon battles saved on my Versus recorder, but this one is a tag battle. I haven't done a tag battle since the first episode of this series. So, a little bit of a story behind this one. I really wanted to do a tag battle, and so I searched for opponents, and I went to places, and every time I went to places, we didn't have enough opponents. So thankfully, one of my friends here, which is WeaponXemcail, he was my opponent in episode 2. Oh, hang on, I guess I should start the match, but WeaponXemcail was my opponent in episode 2. He is on my side. I also fought him in episode 5, a tournament episode. And then my opponents consist of Absurdum, who I fought in episode 9 and episode 19, and some random guy named Rex, who I just invited on my player search system. And the result is what you see here, a tag battle. For this match, WeaponXemcail, or Michael as he's also known as, is my partner, and we weren't allowed to communicate with each other. Neither were my opponents. My opponents couldn't communicate with each other anyway because apparently one's from Japan and the other's from Australia. Anyway, here we go. I've started off with my Shedinja. My partner started off with Keldeo, and my opponents have started off with a Meowstic and a Whimsicott. They're setting up. I'm a little worried because my Shedinja can easily be taken down. I thought when that Whimsicott was using Leech Seed, I thought that was going for me. But alright, since it wasn't going for me, I can attack with my little ghost bug. Alright, so far it's a little hard to say what's going to happen next. He's using Grass Whistle. That could have been very bad for me, but thankfully the Grass Whistle has missed. That Meowstic is still setting up for his team. And this Keldeo, thankfully, is a very strong Pokemon, and it's able to finish off that Meowstic and take down the first Pokemon of my opponent's team. Now, each opponent in a tag battle gets 3 Pokemon. So, if you eliminate all 3 Pokemon on one side, then all you have to do is eliminate the 3 Pokemon on the other side. And that's typically how it goes down. I'm using Fury Cutter on this Whimsicott because Fury Cutter will deal more and more damage the more often it's used consecutively. And I know Whimsicott is part Fairy type, meaning because it's part Fairy type, it resists Bug. But it's also part Grass type, which means Bug is super effective toward it, so since it's both, it only does neutral damage. But I'm just trying to rack up power, and then I figure, okay, for this next turn, I'll use Fury Cutter on the Seismitoad. Well, that turns out to not work out so well, as you'll see in a moment. The thing with Shedinja is that it can only be hurt in certain ways, but it only has 1 HP, so if you do hurt it, it's destroyed. And that Seismitoad had a Rocky Helmet, which means I take recoil damage, and because Shedinja only has 1 HP, recoil damage means I take down all of my own HP. So my first Pokemon is down. My partner still has his Keldeo on the field, thankfully. He has a substitute up, but the substitute is now destroyed because that Seismitoad and that Whimsicott are working together, though the Seismitoad seems to be the one doing all the attacking right now while the Whimsicott was setting up. That Leech Seed is still hurting the Keldeo, though, so I can't give the Whimsicott no credits. I send in my Absol as my second Pokemon because I figure I can Mega Evolve him, and if I Mega Evolve him, that means his ability will become Magic Bounce, which means attacks that don't deal direct damage will be reflected back onto my opponent. So if that Whimsicott chooses to use Grass Whistle again, which it does, it gets reflected back to it, but for better or for worse, it missed. So, yeah. The Keldeo is using Secret Sword, a very powerful attack of Keldeo, but it is not powerful enough to take down my opponent's Seismitoad. What happens next is I decide, okay, well, since I'm not getting hurt, I'll go ahead and use Swords Dance. That way my attack stat will skyrocket and I'll take down my opponent's Pokemon. Well, this Seismitoad uses Earthquake, and unfortunately, he actually gets a critical hit on my Absol, which means my Absol is immediately defeated. So I only have 1 Pokemon left that I can use, and the Keldeo is down too, so my partner's first Pokemon is also taken down. If I lose my 3rd Pokemon, I pretty much have to rely on my partner from this point onwards. Okay, so my partner sends out his shiny Charizard, I send out my 3rd Pokemon, which is a Darmanitan, both Fire type, which is pretty bad considering that one of the Pokemon on the field is a Ground type, but my partner Mega Evolves his Charizard into Mega Charizard Y, and it's still Flying type, so Earthquake won't hurt it. and I figured that we're faster than it, so one of us can take down that Seismitoad. So the Whimsicott's using Substitute, not too big of a deal there. I was gonna attack the Whimsicott anyway. I figured I was probably gonna die, and the Charizard could probably take down the Seismitoad. I don't know. But that Substitute saves the Whimsicott for another turn. I destroy the Substitute. My Darmanitan is very powerful. I do take recoil damage though, because that is how Flare Blitz works. And thankfully my partner had Solar Beam, and because we have Sunlight out, Solar Beam was able to attack in 1 turn as opposed to 2 turns. So that Seismitoad is down and out. That user's Pokemon is defeated, meaning he only has 1 Pokemon left that he can use. His 3rd Pokemon is Dino Cake, a Venusaur. And as you probably could have guessed, that Venusaur is going to Mega Evolve into a Mega Venusaur, of course. So now we have Mega Charizard and Mega Venusaur on the field, but it is still Sunny, which is pretty bad for both of these Pokemon because they're both grass types, and it being Sunny means that fire type attacks get boosted attack power. And that strong fiery attack takes down that Whimsicott, taking down the first Pokemon of that user's team. He still has 2 more that he can use though. So right now it's pretty even. I only have 1 Pokemon left that I can use. One of the opponents only has 1 Pokemon left that he can use, and the others each have 2 Pokemon left that they can use. So that Heat Wave is not enough to destroy that Venusaur. That Venusaur is pretty sturdy, and he puts the Mega Charizard Y, that is also shiny, to sleep. And for better or for worse, my Darmanitan is Choice Scarf, meaning I can only continuously use Flare Blitz. I will be speedy, but I can only use the same attack over and over and over again. My partner thankfully switches out and he goes into his 3rd Pokemon, his Zapdos. And for those of you saying, oh, he's using a legendary, let it be known that Zapdos is typically legal for tournaments. It's just not legal for tournaments as sponsored by the official Pokemon Company. Other tournaments will allow Zapdos. Anyway, my Darmanitan takes down the Mega Venusaur, meaning that that user's team is completely down and out. He now has to rely on his partner. So now we just have to take down the 2 remaining Pokemon of this trainer over here named Rex. His 2nd Pokemon is a Galvantula that knows Thunder, and that Thunder is enough to take down my Darmanitan, which means that all 3 of my Pokemon are down and out. So now I have to rely on my partner. And it pretty much becomes a single battle at this point. They just have to take each other down. They each have 2 Pokemon left, and let's see who wins at this point. So I will continue narrating though. So that Zapdos is actually a pretty defensive and specially defensive Zapdos. It poisons the Galvantula, and it figures that it can't really get hurt too much because Galvantula is only a bug electric type Pokemon. And Zapdos can only be neutrally affected by electric type attacks, and it resists bug type attacks. So that Galvantula can only do so much. It's a strong special attacker, don't get me wrong, but when you're dealing with a specially defensive Zapdos, there's only so much you can do. So at this point, I guess we're just waiting for the opponent to come up with a strategy or to lose. He switches his Galvantula out into his 3rd Pokemon, a Mineshaw, a fighting type Pokemon. Let it also be known that Zapdos, being part flying type, resists fighting type Pokemon. Okay, so this Mineshaw is planning to use Reversal, a fighting type attack that deals more damage the less your HP is. Now, since Mineshaw's HP is pretty low right now, you'd think that Reversal will do a lot of damage, but since Zapdos resists it and is defensive, it doesn't do a whole lot. So Zapdos just takes down the Mineshaw, leaving that user with only 1 Pokemon remaining, his Galvantula, while my partner still has 2 Pokemon left. Both flying types, mind you, and the Charizard is also a fire type, which is also super effective toward the Galvantula. So we pretty much figure we have this battle won, but you never know. Anyway, that Galvantula is still trying to do whatever it can. It's trying to use whatever attacks it can on this Zapdos. Zapdos is just taking each and every one of these hits. It's roosting, restoring its HP, pretty much just trying to stall out the Galvantula with that poison, because Galvantula is toxically poisoned. I don't even know if toxically is a word, but it pretty much means that it's a more nasty version of poison. This poison deals more and more damage every turn, as opposed to a regular poison, which only deals the same amount of damage every turn. So, if we figure that if we wait enough turns, that Galvantula will get defeated. So that Galvantula is still using Bug Buzz, still getting same type attack bonus from the hits, but the Zapdos is still resisting it, and since that Zapdos also has Protect and Roost, it can heal itself and stall out that Galvantula. That Galvantula is almost dead. The Zapdos has leftovers, so that gives it more HP. And I think it's safe to say that this battle is won. I mean, I already know what happened, because the battle's already happened. It's saved on my versus recorder. So I'll tell you guys right now, that Galvantula is using Bug Buzz, but it's not going to be enough to take down that Zapdos. So the Zapdos lands the final blow using Thunderbolt and defeats that Galvantula once and for all, which means that we have won this tag battle, even though that my partner took down most of the Pokemon. I still contributed, but yeah. Anyway, that's that tag battle. Thank you, Absurdum, and thank you, Rex, and thank you, WeaponXemcail, or Michael, my partner. Yeah, so just so you guys know, it's fun. I'm always willing to do tag battles. They're harder to set up, but I love tag battles. I like it a lot because it's a whole different type of strategy. Anyway, that wraps up this match of Pokemon BATAW, and I'd like to thank you all for watching. The sped up variation of this match will play in just a moment. And remember, if you'd like to request a match against me, you can do so. You can even request a tag battle against me, but you have to do so by clicking the link in the description. Alright, see you all next time in future videos. Bye-bye, humans!